Redland was out to seize the moment against Eastlake with an opportunity to put some distance between their challengers on the ladder when the two sides met at Tidbold Park. The Bombers attacked early and had their first on the board when Jordan Bain converted a set shot.
Comes in, he starts it right, it fades back around nicely, and that is the first goal of the game.
Josh Smith impacted the scoreboard and he was again involved when milestone man Brad Reese also added further pain to the Demons in his 100th match.
On a roll.
The Bombers kicked the first 6 goals of the game in the space of 10 minutes before Eastlake got themselves on the board late in the term through Shay Darcy.
On that occasion, Darcy goes around the corner and does it nicely.
Reese had his second shortly after the break and James Rayner opened up a 47-point lead after 12 minutes.
Rayner's already kicked one and he'll kick his second.
It took a solid contested grab from Dean Bierman to peg one back for the Demons, and a special piece of play from Dan O'Connell on the boundary line gave them a lift heading into half-time.
Oh no, which way does it go? From the outside of the right foot, it goes beautifully.
Mitch Frail reduced the margin to 30 points less than a minute into the third, and O'Connell showed off a booming kick from inside the square.
Goes very deep to the goal line. 1-on-1 contest. The ball flew over the back. Did it have enough on it?
I think it did.
Frail's second reduced the margin to 24, but the Bombers found the answers. They kicked the final 3 goals of the term for a commanding lead at three-quarter time.
Sammy Michael decides, instead of giving it to you, Matty Thompson, this time, I'm going to do it myself.
The contest was all but over when Jackson Starcevich bobbed up with 3 last-quarter goals. He provided one of the highlights of the match from the boundary, but was rated no chance by his father Craig standing next to the commentary box.
And his father in the background said he's 100 to 1 to kick this. So
well, you'd back him in now.
It's good that this has gone to film, so this can be noted by his son when he kicks a beautiful goal. And Craig Starcevich, he says, I'm out of here. I owe the young fella 100.
He proved it was no fluke with an identical goal minutes later, as the Bombers ran out comfortable 57-point winners.
I suppose that's probably what's been missing over the last couple of weeks is our blokes to stand up when needed, and especially some of our big tall timber, and they did that today, led really well by Paul Hunter and Sam Michael and Jackson Starcevich and these blokes, and it was just terrific. And the mids did their role as hard running back and forward, so we were very pleased.
It was a danger game for defending Premier Aspley when they headed to Fankhauser Reserve to take on Southport. The Sharks were only a game outside the top 6 and the Hornets had lost their past 2 matches. Eddie Sainsbury got the Hornets off on the right foot with a goal in the opening minutes as Aspley had the better of the first term. They kicked the first 3 before James Holland put one on the board for the Sharks, who went into quarter time trailing by 23 points. They turned things around in the second with the first 3 to cut the margin to 5, and Rob Clements put them in front at the 15-minute mark. But the moment was short-lived when Aspley kicked the next 2 to head into half-time 11 points clear. The Hornets extended the advantage in a low-scoring third quarter until Josh Hunt gave the Sharks a chance early in the last when he reduced the deficit to 16. But Sainsbury kicked 3 last-quarter goals to finish with 7 for the game in a best-on-ground performance as the Hornets finished the match strongly for a 31-point victory. Red-hot UWS Giants could sense another big victory when they came up against bottom-place Brisbane at the Gabba in Saturday's AFL curtain raiser. Luke McGuan got the Lions off to a flying start, but last week's Rising Star nominee Mitch Mahadi drew scores level after 4 minutes. The wheels started to turn for the Giants, who slammed on the next 8 goals for a 43-point lead at quarter time. Again, the Lions drew first blood in the second, but it did little to stem the flow as UWS found the next 6 majors. Former North Melbourne forward Lee Harding wound back the clock with a bit of magic late in the term in one of the highlights of the game. After the main break, Jonathan Patton began to have an influence with 2 more goals added to his tally in quick succession as the Giants continued their dominance in the third. The margin blew out to 126 points when Patton kicked his 5th of the match at the 9-minute mark of the last, but the Lions finished the match strongly. They kicked 6 of the final 7 goals of the game to reduce the final margin to 97 points. NT Thunder and Sydney finished off the round with a 3rd versus 4th blockbuster at TIO Stadium on Saturday night in a rematch of last year's preliminary final at Blacktown. The competition's leading goal kicker Darren Ewing further etched his name on the trophy with all 3 of NT Thunder's goals in the opening term.
Just to read it off the ruckman's hand and get it in, and Darren Ewing, as we see him put that one straight through, no mistake.
The Swans didn't hit the scoreboard until moments before quarter time, and the margin was cut to 4 when Ben McGlynn delivered a pinpoint pass to Sam Wilson within seconds of the restart.
Swans get it, deep kick to the 4, that's a great kick, what a terrific mark, that was speared in there.
But Chris Dunn slotted a goal from the pocket, and Michael Bowden made it 3 in a row for the home side.
Bowden off the left boot, goes for goal, and I reckon he's kicked it.
Sydney hit back deep into the quarter, but Thunder opened up the match after half-time as several chances went begging for the Swans. Rising Star nominee Michael Hagan made them pay when he set the match alight with 2 third-term goals.
Goes for it, oh, polished footy. Terrific build-up by Thunder, and the class of that young man there, Michael Hagan. We've seen it on display here tonight.
Leading by 32 points at the last change, Liam Patrick put the result beyond doubt with the first of the final term. Ewing and Dunn finished with 5 goals each as Thunder recorded a solid 53-point victory. Thunder's win saw them move into second position on the ladder by less than 1% over Aspley. The Swans held on to 4th, followed by Sydney University and Redland, who opened up a 4-point gap over Gold Coast. Round 17 will see Ainsley host Sydney Uni in Canberra. UWS will take on Eastlake and Wagga, and Sydney will battle the Lions at the SCG. Redland will go head-to-head with Southport at Tidbald Park, followed by Gold Coast and NT Thunder at Metricon Stadium. Keep up to date with all the latest news at neefl.com.au and by following us on social media, with live scores and champion data statistics available on our official NEFL app.